Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to your Thursday night helping of scintillating sim racing. It's QRT's GT3 Championship Season 4. It is myself, John Wright, aka Double O Raven, will be leading us through the action, and I will be ably assisted once again by the legend that is Mr. Sean Madden. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening, John, and thank you for having me as always. Really looking forward to this race.
It's going to be absolutely incredible. It's round number 5. It is one of the trickiest tracks in existence. It's Donington. We've seen some absolutely outstanding racing so far from Valencia, Spa, Watkins Glen and Silverstone. And tonight at Donington Park we will be following the same format, 30 minutes of quali, 10 minutes per split. There will be 1 hour of racing with 1 mandatory stop for tyres and fuel, and of course the all-important lap 1 penalties. You will lose points in the championship standings if you are found to be culpable for an incident in the opening lap, and absolutely here for it because it's given us some incredible opening laps so far. Opening laps that I've seen myself and Sean get extremely excited and gave us some phenomenal results last week. It was Silverstone last week, Sean. It's Donington this week. It's hard to hide the excitement.
Oh, extremely hard to hide the excitement. There was all sorts of surprises in the race at Silverstone, and I'm not even talking about the weather, because the weather around the UK normally throws up a lot of surprises, but yeah, it certainly reared its ugly head towards the end of the race. And yeah, I can tell you that in terms of the results from last week, well, actually, in the pros, didn't actually show up too many surprises because it was the second win of the season for Damien Konzik, who looked absolutely phenomenal at Silverstone, with Tom Wegman grabbing his second P2 of the season, and Chris Vining also getting his second podium of the season, finishing in P3. The one surprise that there was, though, was that Konzik and Wegman both shared the fastest lap time of a 1 minute 58.712. Absolute phenomenal stuff. With the silver splits, the second win of the season going to Fabian Goldie. And the best result for Mike Wilson in P2, with Jules Flint grabbing his best result, his first podium of the season in P3, with the fastest lap time going to Robert Webber, a 1 minute 59.220. And then in the amateur split, we had a first win for Runa Khan. So congratulations to him, with Adam Bisteri grabbing his second P2 in a row for the amateurs. Then we got Jacob Borovic also getting his second, third place results in a row, and also grabbing the fastest lap time of a 2 minute 890. Now, what I can tell you as well, John, is that there will be a 20-second penalty, success penalty that is, going to Konzik, 15 seconds going to Wegman, and 10 going to Chris Vining, with the silver category De La Zeus getting the 20-second penalty, 15 seconds to Goldie, and 10 seconds going to Chris Bell. But we are on the the final embers, actually, of qualifying for the pro driver category right now. So John, tell us how it's going so far.
It's going as you would expect. I just want to touch back on something that you brought up there, and I'm glad it got highlighted. Obviously it got highlighted. I talk about constantly how close the action is here at QRT. 2 drivers with exactly the same time to take fastest lap points. That tells you everything you need to know about this championship. It is hotly contested and it is phenomenal. Season 1, 2 and 3 were absolutely incredible. Even I didn't think they would be able to top it. In Season 4, hold my beer. Here I come. It's been absolutely outstanding. Konzik, Wegman and Vining, as Sean mentioned, will receive those success penalties because they're leading the way in the championship. Konzik, of course, our returning championship, wrapped up Season 3 after the first 4 races. Hasn't quite had it all his own way this time around, but certainly in qualifying here at Donington, Konzig is the man. He is at 4/10 ahead of Vining in second, and Tom Wegman has just completed his final lap, and it is not quicker. He will not improve on his starting position. Jan Willem van der Steeg is on row 2, does have the potential to find some time, and of course Callum the Wonder Kid Scotland. Now I saw that his livery had updated, but it's not worked on stream. That is marginally annoying. But Callum Scotland, he started the series in the Army, he got a win in the Pros. He's now on exactly the same time as Kolesnikov, 9/10 of a second off that pole position. Van der Hoek and Gibson at 1 minute, 1 second, .027 and 1.052, with Jongen 1.062. And Van der Hoek's just gone quicker. Van der Hoek has improved just under at 9/10 of a second. It is ridiculous how close these times are. It is absolutely frightening. Less than a 10 separating 9th through 12th. Konzig, that 4/10 gap up at the front there, Sean, that looks mighty impressive when you look at the gaps between the rest of the pros. Konzig, he's all business this week.
Yes, indeed. And actually, just looking at the grid as well, actually Scotland and Kolesnikov getting the exact same split of a 0.9 seconds adrift of the pole sitter. That is that is Konzik with a 1:25.3, John.
Indeed it is. Yeah, now Tom Wegman's just set a lap time. I'm not sure it's going to count. I don't know if he crossed the line with enough time to actually claim that. There has been more movers and shakers in the pros though. As we'll have a look at the timetable, we can see there Van der Steeg, Jongen and Ticehurst. Look how close it is there, with Jongen taking the fastest sector 1 in the Mustang and can only muster 5th position with a purple sector under his belt. Let's just let that sink in for a second, shall we? He's just ahead of Ticehurst by 2/100ths of a second. Ticehurst himself only 23/100ths quicker than Van der Hoek, who's 2/100ths quicker than Scotland and Kolesnikov, who are on exactly the same time, as Sean pointed out. Incredible stuff. Even down 11th and 12th, 11th, 12th and 13th, there's half a 10th separating the 3 drivers on the final 2 rows of the pro grid.
Yeah.
It's just frightening, Sean. I cannot wax lyrical. As commentators, let's just take a break from this for a minute. When it comes to racing action, sportsmanship and sporting conduct on track, this league ticks. These drivers tick absolutely every single box imaginable. It's an absolute. It's a thing of beauty to behold.
It is indeed, and something that I'm not thankful of is the fact that I've had to write down the grid order many different times, because I thought I had it sewn up, and then all of a sudden I look up again and it's all changed.
The drivers are extremely inconsiderate that way, Sean. I will 100% agree. They do keep us on our toes. Danny McCutcheon keeping the silvers on their toes. The Turn 1 Sim Racing Porsche driver is looking very good at the moment. He's managed to squeeze himself between a couple of pros as well. So Tice Payne will be separated from the pros by at least 1 silver driver, and I do say at least because Arnaud De La Zeus is also in a Porsche. He is leading the championship, and he needs a good qualifying result. He will have the success ballast applied to him at the start of lap number 1, so he will be spending extra time in the pit. So he really needs to put in a time in quali, and I can tell you that, oh, curse of the commentator, oh no, is he okay? Oh, he's invalidated that lap, and he was half a second up through through Starkey's. That is agony. He's got plenty of time to right that wrong. He's just gone wide again. Mike Wilson going quick. Fabian Goldie and Rick Kranz as well. Rick Kranz, Fast and the Furious teammate clocking a good time at the start of the session in the pros, and Rick is about to follow suit in the silvers and jump himself up 3 places to 19th overall, 6th in the silvers for the Ferrari driver. And he's carried that momentum across the start-finish line. Fabian Goldie looking to do the same. He's got a couple of tenths in his pocket. He'll be looking to bring home. But it is Danny McCutcheon who is still leading the way. The Porsche is doing quite well. Not too many straights for them, Sean. I think this is one of the courses where the Porsche, not that the new Porsche is massively down on top end speed, but it definitely lags behind ever so slightly when we get to the upper echelons of the speed gun clocking times. But around here, tight twisty track, not too many straights for the other cars to take away and leave, and we could see the Porsches do really well here.
Yeah, you could be right, John. Yeah, the Porsche, yeah, certainly one of them cars that perhaps not the best in a straight line, but when it comes to, you know, a quick succession of corners, especially with a lot of the body roll that goes into these GT3 cars, that is where the Porsche tends to do a lot better, and I think that is evidence of Danny McCutcheon, who is currently leading the silver category in the times. Yeah, I absolutely love this circuit though, John. Donington really does throw up a lot of surprises, and yeah, certainly it's one of them circuits as well where you've really got to be on the limit, and you know, if you're looking to make moves, you really have to have it dialed in and try to keep on the back of the car in front and try and set yourself up for a move on the second part of the circuit where there's not too many opportunities, of course, John, to make the move, that is.
Indeed. Sorry, Mike was on mute there while you were talking, and allow a massive woo, because on Arnaud De La Zeus, I did say he needed a good qualifying. He got that message. He's gone 4 tenths quicker than his nearest rival. He's in a Porsche, by the way. He's gone 4 tenths quicker than his nearest rival. He's put himself into the overall top 10. He's gone quicker than Gibson. He's gone quicker than than Brogan as well, which is Declan Brogan, sorry, which is, just as I say that, he goes absolutely wide. I keep getting Declan Brogan and Brogan Dyer mixed up. I can only apologise to the two of them so many times, so sorry about that. Sorry, Declan, keep getting that mixed up. But yeah, De La Zeus will find himself. For some reason we don't have the same camera angles that we normally have, so thank you very much to the broadcast software for being even more broken than usual. Genuine thanks though. Acid Rain 25, thank you very much for the follow here at QRT. And we've got one Tom Wegman in the chat as well. Forza Ferrari, extra special kudos of course to all the Ferrari drivers. I'm not biased, you are. We'll see how De La Zeus can get on for the rest of the quali session. Tom, how are you feeling ahead of the race on row number 2? Again, want to say thank you on behalf of the viewers and the commentary team. The battles between yourself and Damien Konzik. Thank you. Please sign up for the next season and keep racing here at QRT because it's incredible. The front row seats we get absolutely phenomenal. We're seeing we're coming to the end of the silver quali. No problem, says Tom. Good lad. Love to see it. A couple of liveries not working this week. I'm going to have to give a couple of extra 50 pences in the awesome sim rating meter. Not that there is, it's just an old school joke. Flint there, the double yellow car, looking very plain, unfortunately. Oh no, he's just invalidated. I was about to heap praise on the lap, but he has unfortunately invalidated it. Mark Martins for Fast and Furious Motorsport is going quicker, but I don't think we'll see a positional improvement for him at the moment. Ben Sullivan is definitely threatening to go quicker, so too Fabian Goldie. He's just popped up and then disappeared off the telemetry. That's Gibson in the pros. That is De La Zeus coming through the final 2 corners. This is the thing, Mick Scottish. Callum, I actually took note of the fact that on Awesome Sim Racing, it does say your car was updated within the past few hours. 5 hours ago. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on. I will say that Awesome Sim Racing, for some reason, is showing all the car previews as jet black. So I think it might be a slight issue with Awesome Sim Racing rather than the upload itself. Definitely worth checking the upload, but I would say at the moment it does look like it's an issue with Awesome not processing the liveries through. Probably doesn't help. I've got to download 1150 every time. Oh, it hasn't been uploaded. Right, okay. Oh, well, so I wonder what they updated. But yeah, definitely need to get it on for next time. We do love seeing these, the liveries. They're far more impressive than the driving, to be honest. Although Della Zeus driving the absolute wheels off that Porsche at the minute. Within a second of pole position. That 9/10 of a second seems to be popular. Jongen Tysers, Van der Hoek, Scotland, Kolesnikov and Dela Zeus, Gibson, Brogan and Papai, all just hovering around that 9/10, 1 second off pole position. Really does show you how quick Konzig and Wegman are. Vining as well, though, on the road too. Yeah, the same distance between Wegman and Vining as there is between Wegman and Konzig. This is going to be another absolutely incredible race. As Dela Zeus, he's bringing his qualifying session to an end. It's now the turn of the arms, and we can confirm that in the silvers it is Arnaud Dela Zeus, championship leader with championship leading quali performance. Absolutely worthy of his position. He's going to have that success ballast though, as he is the championship leader. So that is exactly what he needed to do in quali. McCutcheon finds himself on row 1 for the silvers with Goldie, Kranz and Bell 3rd, 4th and 5th. It's then Ben Sullivan in 6th with Wilson in 7th, Martins in 8th and Flint in 9th. We've got 5 silvers ahead of the last pro, and we've got 3 pros separating 1st and 2nd in the silvers. Not much on the stopwatch separating them either, that is for sure. So incredible quali time, couple of quali bans, but none of those drivers here, so everyone will be eligible to set a time. We've got a few wild cards in there as well. But certainly the Pro Tesco Extra. Oh, he's missed the stripes. But James Matcham there. Oh, that's
and
just
John,
completely reset. Sorry, yes, please do feel free to talk a lot, Sean. My that's just reset. Let me, give me your thoughts on anything that you can while I quickly try and fix this.
Well, I was just responding to the qualifying set from the silver drivers there. So I was expecting big result, or at least from qualifying, big results from Wilson and Flint because looking at the leaderboards, Mike Wilson is 4th in the championship, Flint is 5th, and also as well, when we look at the results from last week at Silverstone, Mike Wilson produced his best result of the season, getting a P2, and Jules Flint getting his first podium of the series, grabbing that P3. So really thought that these two were on form and going to show the sheer pace that these drivers have at this current time. But yeah, unfortunately, grabbing a P7 and P9 in qualifying for silvers, so they've got it all to do. Although luckily for them, they don't have the success penalty. It did look like, was that Khan in the background? That
yeah. He just went off track, but he has taken pole position for the arms at the minute. So he set himself a very good time, and he has ducked into the pits.
So out with a bang, basically.
Out with a bang, yeah. 981. Oh, okay, qualifying but left or last. Oh, Daniel Zlatnik. Oh, so it's of course, yeah, it's lightning the quali ban for leaving early. We'll see what his livery is for this week. They're always good. They're always good. So many good liveries on this. We do have some wild cards, as I say. Hajo Horman. Although, why is a wild card? I'm really confused. He's raced in almost every race this season. So
I can give you the results that he's got. So it was round 2. He got the victory at Spa, and he got a DNF in the 3rd race, which was Watkins Glen, and then he got P2 last round at Silverstone.
Right, okay, yeah, so only one. Okay, so what is this, round 5? So he's missed one so far. But yeah, either way, Hajo Horman, very, very, very quick driver, leading the way with the wild cards. But it is the arms that we are more interested in. Around at Cannes, what a time to be driving a Porsche. I mean, I did say that I thought they would do quite well around here. They are run at Cannes, bringing a race win for the first time last time out. Currently in pole position for the arms. That is a way to make a statement, Sean. That's a good look. It's a great turnaround in the season. Hasn't really featured in the podium. Grabs the win last week. Currently, I mean, 4 minutes of quali still to go, but at the minute the Porsche driver is looking not too bad up at the front, just as Basteri goes a little touch quicker.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the timing of such statements, right? But what I will say about Ronald Khan is he has been Mr. Consistent. He has a P7 to his name. That was followed up by a P2 at Spa, P4 at Watkins Glen, and then, of course, as you mentioned, getting the race victory at Silverstone. So certainly a man on form for the amateur drivers, and yeah, he's definitely looking good for at least a podium or a step on the podium for the qualifying stages, with Basteri just pipping him to the post for that pole position. So far, no, I'm wrong, because Bozo has just moved up into pole position for the amateurs. So again, that timing, John.
Absolutely, the drivers do love to throw us under the bus. And speaking of timing, Bozo and Basteri, there is nothing, 15 thousandths separating the two of them up on the front row. Thierry, as you would expect, he is a wild card. He is quick. The Orange Lions Lexus, 24th at the moment, and Basteri's gone quicker. Wow, Basteri has gone quicker. Hajo Horman's gone much quicker as well. He's gone to 11th, and Michael Thomas, the M28 coaching driver, who is featured there or thereabouts in the podium week after week. He's popped himself onto the overall row number 2 with an almost identical time to fellow Aston Martin driver Chris Vining. Elbow just fell off the armrest there. There we go. So yeah, Thomas doing the business up at the front, but again, those are the wild cards. We're here to see the most important drivers on the track. It's the AMS, and they're the most important because I am in that category as well. Alex Perley in the Shrek Honda. Yeah, just having I keep stopping in my tracks, just marvelling at the organisation that we've got here. So close in the timing board, so close on track. And a huge variety. Again, Sean, we talk about this every week, but it is absolutely something worth bringing up. There's no more meta. Thank you, LFM Bop. There's no more meta cars. We've got Porsches at the front of the grids. We've got BMWs, we've got Mustangs, Lexus, Hondas, Audis. It's great to see this mix, proper mix of cars coming back to ACC. There was the Bentley meta, then the McLaren Ferrari metas, and all these meta cars. Now, if you can drive well, you will do well, because the cars are now properly being balanced out for the tracks. And again, as commentators, you just can't ask for more.
Yeah, I do agree with that, actually, John, because yeah, we're used to seeing certain cars at the front, but now it's almost like learning the game again, and kind of wondering what the strengths and the weaknesses of each manufacturer, and yeah, you know, from a week-to-week basis, really, John. We're seeing the Porsches doing well. Then another week it might be the Ferrari, another week it might be the Aston or the Honda. So yeah, it's great to see, John. And yeah, certainly in the final embers of this qualifying, we'll see what manufacturer comes out on top for the amateurs. So far, it's Ferrari, though.
Hey, happy days. Again, I'm not biased, you are. But yeah, Adam Mystery for the Synergy Racing car. Ooh, and he's just gone through the chicane. I know what the corner is officially called, but it is a chicane. And yeah, I will argue that one to the death. But he's just popped it off track as this has frozen again. And we're moving, there we go. Zoltan Bozo just coming through the final few sectors. Borowick is in the pits, 25th overall. Second in the arm. Gulping down the T2 quick. Bozo takes the checkered flag. Flint's taking the checkered flag as well. Alex Perry still on track. Zach Scott is in the pits. Omar Ashraf is still out on track as well and is a fair bit of time up, but he is a couple of seconds behind, so he is going to go quicker. And there we go, does find himself up 4.5 seconds off the pace, but that is, oh wait a minute, let me just get rid of that and that. And there is confirmation. So as I say, Thomas and Horman, both wild cards, so they do not count in the ARM standings. It is Basteri Borowick who are leading the way. Thierry finds himself down in 5th, the wildcard driver. Bozo and Khan down in 6th and 7th. Perry and Matcham are 6th. Sorry, they're 5th and 6th in the arms with Vedvik, Zach Scott, Ashraf Wraith, and Daniel Zlatnik serving quali bands. And as we saw in the silvers, De La Zeus. And that is, again, such a good mix of cars we've got, Sean. We've got in the arms, it's an Aston, a BMW and a Ferrari. In the silvers, it's 2 Porsches and a Ferrari. And in the pros, it's a McLaren, a Ferrari and an Aston Martin, ably backed up by a Mercedes, a Ford and a Lamborghini. Just the sheer symphony of engines, Sean. It's going to keep you coming back week after week.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's really good to see the difference in cars. And I know, I'm not sure if he's in chat today or not, but I know a certain Bill Mobo waxes lyrical over the Aston Martins, and it's good to see that they're sharing the spoils at the top of the grid as well, John.
Indeed, yeah, and they do sound absolutely phenomenal as well. I mean, the Mercedes definitely takes most of the awards for the audio profile it has, but certainly the Aston and the gang right in there. The purple sectors have changed hands. Van der Steeg was in 4th overall. He's now 5th overall, 4th in the pros, but it's Thomas in the Aston who has taken purple in Sector 1. So it's Aston Sector 1, McLaren Sector 2 and Ferrari in Sector 3 as the top 3 overall that have shared the spoils of the purple sectors. But I've said this before and I will say again, qualifying is vanity. Finishing position, that is sanity. And yes, that is stolen from the famous Wolf of Wall Street comment about how business runs. But it is very true. You can qualify as well as you want. You can put in that one hot lap, Sean, but that won't get you to the end of a 1 hour race. It is an entirely different beast between quali and the race. At some tracks it's vitally important to qualify well. Donington, an argument could be made that quali is pretty important here, but it is certainly not the be all and end all, and from what we've seen so far we cannot even come close to guesstimating who is going to finish on the podium, never mind win any of the splits, because the racing here is always so close and respectful and phenomenal. Yeah,
you're so correct with that statement, John, because certainly, yeah, you could be very fast over one lap, but around Donington, where it's very technical, it's very easy to make a mistake. It's looking like the weather is going to remain pretty calm for the drivers, luckily. But if there was any rain thrown into the mix, that makes it even doubly as difficult as well. But there is one driver that does stand out for me, John. That is Thomas. He is the wildcard driver. But what I can tell you, John, is that he's looking for his third victory in a row. So he has been Mr. Consistent when he has turned up, and definitely showing the form in qualifying there.
Yeah, he really has. He's been an absolute force to be reckoned with. Hopefully we can get him signed up for the entirety of a season. We will bring you the live trackside action because everything on my broadcast software managed to reset itself today, which was very nice. So I'm just going to quickly add something in. You mentioned it before, Sean, this track, you can get overtakes done. You need to be absolutely on point with your positioning though. Absolutely no questions. It's got to be done the right way.
Yes, indeed. And as I said, with this type of circuit, it's pretty much a tale of two halves, really, because you can't really go two side by side on the first half of the circuit, particularly if you want to take the fastest line through the corners. It's only really until you get to, say, I would say probably Coppice at turn 8 for the Starkey Straight is where you'll probably see a few overtaking manoeuvres. Then you've got the S's as well. If you get a good run through the chicane, that could set you up for a move down the for the Melbourne hairpin, or Goddard's, who is the last turn of the circuit. So yeah, it's a difficult one to call here, and certainly the drivers will need to be on their best behaviour and on point as well, I think, John.
Yeah, 100%. It is 2.498 miles, 2.5 miles. 4 kilometres exactly for the more educated amongst you. I'm certainly still in miles. But yeah, for a track built back in 1931, it has had quite the number of face changes over the years. No one has got round to correctly naming the Fogarty S's the Fogarty chicane, because it is a chicane, it's not an S, and that will come up quite a lot. But yeah, it just looks so simple, but it's got just enough undulation, it's got just enough banking, and yeah, down at the bottom of the hill, oh yes, let's go old hairpin into Starkey's Bridge. What a corner that is. The amount of speed you can carry through there, it really does bring all kinds of options. And Sean, again, good condition. Well, it's cold out there, so we could see a wide variety of pit strategies again.
Yes, we could. As I just saw in the background there, and I'm not sure if they were testing the limits of the tyres there. It did look like, I think it was Matcham in the McLaren. It looked like he lost control of the car on the out lap there. But yeah, certainly something I didn't notice is the track temperature. John, lead us away on the start of the grid. Sorry.
Yeah, here we go then. They've got through the course a lot quicker. It's green lights, it's foot down, it's flat out, and we are flying into turn number 1, and Thomas temporarily had the lead. He almost turns into Konzig, who does manage to hold on. Look how close that is behind Chris Vining, coming under pressure from the Mercedes. Tom Wegman looking for a move. Oh, there's big contact on row 4 of the grid. Oh, there's been a big contact. That's a Mercedes. We'll find out who that is. But oh, there's another contact down the hill. There's a QRT car and a Fast and the Furious car, finding themselves down the way. We've not even got down to the old hairpin, and it's already all action as Tice Payne tries to go round the outside. The Lexus there, oh, 2 wheels on the gravel, manages to hold it. That is absolutely shaking things up. We'll get some replays of what's going on behind very shortly, but it is, oh, Ashraf has returned to the pits. He's on an absolute crack on the opening lap, straight into the wall. Oh, and through Coppice, that looks like a fun one in the background as well, but it is Damien Konzig. He is in first place. There we go, he's got that 20-second penalty. I was Open the tyre survived. I was led to believe the wildcards would be getting success penalties as well to give the rest of the field a chance, but they haven't been applied at the moment. But as it stands, the top three doing a good job to keep their nose nice and clean. But we have some big tumblers. Dave Kolesnikow in the number 4 car got himself caught up in some serious incidents. I'm trying to cut... No. So this is a slightly different replay. This is the QRT BMW. Oh, the Mercedes getting so close with the BMW. Just a concertina effect. Oh, and good slide. Oh, he's tried to take a void on that. Wow. Oh, and it's exactly how we were talking, Sean. That's completely caught me off there. It's a big wreck on the opening lap. Daniel Zlatnik making up monster places. Multiple cars in the pit, but that highlights beautifully because there's no lack of talent in this grid, Sean. Let's call it like it is. That was one minor mistake by a car going through turn number 1, and the concertina effect is absolutely real. Quite a few cars down the order, and yeah, it really does bring the second half of this race really into focus for a lot of them already.
Indeed, John. Yeah, I'm trying to get my point across about trying to sort of keep the warmth in the tyres. Really, the drivers seem to have, you know, we're doing a lot of weaving about, really struggling to get that heat into the tyre, and I think that was evidence of it at the start of lap 1 there, where one of the drivers just catching the curb and perhaps not having the optimal tyre temperatures, and as you said, there was a big concertina effect behind, and you don't want that on that part of the circuit, because once you have 2, even 3 wide, it gets very complicated.
Yep, complicated is definitely one word for it. There's certainly others that we're not allowed to use at this time of the night. Tom Wegman now with a 1 second gap over the rest of the field. Arnaud De La Zeus did manage to avoid mostly those issues, but the pros around him avoided it better. He's never only got Papai between himself and Goldie. Look how much grass these drivers take on the exit. It horrifies me that they've got 2 wheels on. So you effectively there had 1 wheel on the curb, 1 wheel on the grass and 2 wheels on the tarmac, and still managed to plant the accelerator. I would have been in the wall and straight back to the garage, but that's why I commentate. And these drivers win championships, and Tom Wegman just losing a bit of time to the Aston Martin. Konzig is gaining time on everyone at the minute. He needs to with that 20-second penalty. We've just had Vedvig. He's come in early for damage, hasn't fulfilled these mandatory requirements, but has picked up a stop go 30 seconds, so that's another 2 trips into the pits that are going to take a lot of time out of the AM driver. We do still have the AMs being led by Busteri, who's just been overtaken by Callum Scotland, who's trying to make his way back through the field after getting caught up in that early incident. Scotland back up to 17th position overall. And as I said, oh wow, I was just about to say it's been a good start as well for Danny McCutcheon, but it absolutely has not. Apologies, Danny. He is in the pit, and yeah, apparently the cameraman in the pit's not keen on showing the cars. The exit is more exciting apparently, but this is turn 1 sim racing car. McCutcheon was second place, down 14 positions overall. Kolesnikow 15 places down on the start. Callum Scotland down 8, but working wonders. Wraith and Zach Scott up 13 and 12 positions. In fact, Wraith has just got past. Look at this battle down the hill. Oh, it's like the Battle of Britain taking place, but on tarmac. Wraith manages to, with his Sex Pistols livery, sneak his way through at the old hairpin with a solid gaggle of cars. In fact, wow, the Fast and the Furious car dropping a lot of time in the background there. Matcham is still stuck. Zach Scott still back there. Kolesnikow involved in that battle as well. Tice Payne, another driver that dropped down at the start of the race, now finds himself re-engaging. It's Declan Brogan ahead of him. That'll be an easy overtake, said no one ever. We've got De La Zeus just behind in the Porsche, and Christophe Papai in the pros. He'll certainly be happy with the situation he finds himself in at the moment, given there was quite a few more pros and a couple of silvers between him and the rest of the field that he is chasing. He is 12th at the minute in the pro standings, 14th overall, but he is in a little bit of a sandwich here, with Papai just ahead and Goldie just behind. Chris Vining looking like he is going to be making moves. Oh, himself and Van der Steeg, and that is a tantalising battle there. Yeah, Van der Steeg and Vining. Up at the front is Thomas and Konzig, who are breaking away impressively at the minute. Thomas taking an early fastest lap. And I tell you what as well, Sean, actually, with the track, I mean, we've already lost 1 degree in track temperature. We're only 7 minutes in. It's at 12 degrees. That is not ideal conditions for driving these cars. The tyres, they dislike this temperature as much as they dislike 36 to 38 degrees. As soon as you get below that 16, the magic 16 degree mark for track temp, the tyre degradation really does ramp up exponentially. And yeah, that fastest lap that Thomas has set, that could stand for the rest of the race, because it's only going to get colder.
Yeah, you could be right there, John, because I would imagine the drivers will know that the track is set to get colder and colder as the night wars on, and I would imagine they would have had to raise the tyre pressures probably higher than optimal to make sure that once they're sort of halfway to maybe even towards the end of their first stint, that the tyres are in the correct window, perhaps, John?
It's going to be a long race for the strategists. There's going to be a lot of number crunching to figure out exactly what they are going to do with those tyre pressures. And so yeah, so that completely throws my statement out the window when I was saying we could see a wide variety of pit stop strategies. I think the drivers are going to try and go as long as possible to manage that temperature, to make sure that they've got the right PSIs for the second half of the race. As Sean alluded to, yeah, warming the tyres up, warming the brakes up in these conditions, very difficult, especially around the track like this. That could well have contributed to that lap 1 incident. Just a momentary lapse of grip, and suddenly 12 cars find themselves down at the order, and the number crunchers will be crunching to figure out how they're going to keep the tyres in the window. Damien Konzig has gone faster than Thomas. Of course he has, because I said the lap time might stand. Damien having absolutely none of that talk, thank you very much. Give me the quickest time, 1 minute 25.577 compared to Thomas's 1 minute 25.590. 13 thousandths between the fastest lap between these two cars. One's a McLaren, one's an Aston Martin. Just to point that one out. Tom Wegman in the Ferrari, now 2 seconds down on Thomas, and Chris Vining, he is having himself an absolute ding-dong battle here, Sean, with Van der Steeg. The Mercedes versus the Aston, two of the best sounding cars, two of the best looking cars as well, it has to be said. But Van der Steeg and Vining, both absolute talents behind the wheel, and this could be a battle which is eventually won in the pit stop, given how closely matched these two are for talent.
Yes, indeed, John, and yeah, I was kind of looking through the grid there, and yeah, Van der Steeg actually in a very good position to try and hunt for that victory in the pros, because when you look at all the drivers around him with the success penalties, you've got Konzig who's leading the way, but he's got a 20 second penalty. You've got Wegman in P3, but he's got to serve that 15 seconds. Then it's Van der Steeg. And also as well, looking at his results previously during this season, I have to say that it's been a bit of a downhill slant in terms of his race results, with his best result coming in round 1 at Valencia. He got P4, and then it's been a little bit disappointing on his behalf. So this is a great way for him to make amends, but first off, he does need to hold off Vining, which is certainly no easy feat, and Vining is applying all types of pressure through the technical section of this circuit as we come up to, do believe it's Coppice, isn't it, for turn 8, the double apex right hand, and this is where Vining will be looking to try and set up a move, but it does look like Van der Steeg has got it covered off for the time being as we go into the chicane. This is certainly the make or break chicane, and both of them take it beautifully, but it does look like Van der Steeg has got a nose ahead as we go into the Melbourne hairpin, and it looks like he's got the inside line covered off as well for the final turn at Goddard. So Van der Steeg really wants to hold on to this position, but hoping that he doesn't lose too much time to the top 3 drivers if he's got any chance of grabbing the victory today, John.
Indeed, yeah, with those penalties, it's definitely on the cards for him to potentially bring home the win, being the only unpenalised driver in the top 4. Ticehurst as well could be on for a podium as Tice Payne comes into the pits. Wow, has he been involved in an incident? Let me just see. No. So on strategy then, so Payne into the pits with an early pit stop. Arnaud Delazeus still leading the way in the silver category and still ahead of Christophe Papai at the moment. Papai in the pros in 13th. We've got Goldie directly behind as well. Delazeus will be keenly aware that Goldie has got that 20-second penalty as well. So too will Ben Sullivan, who's less than, or sorry, just over a second behind, but he does have Callum Scotland breathing down his neck. I'd imagine we'll see Sullivan get that overtake see Scotland get the overtake done in fairly short order. Nice splitter cam on the Aston Martin, even though they don't have a rear spoiler cam. They really need to fix that one. But Scotland, yeah, if he can catch up to Sullivan and get the overtake done, Sullivan could then find himself dragged back into contention to overtake Goldie on track before the pit stops. Further up the field, Jongen and Gibson within a second, but Jongen will be grateful. He's a QRT teammate, Hadjo Horman, all over the back of Gibson. In fact, Van der Hoek as well, who is there. Terrible front splitter cam on the Ferrari, but there we go. On board, as we can see, down the hill again. So close between these three, and in fact, wow, Damien Konzig's now got a 2.8 second gap to Michael Thomas.
Wow.
Nothing. Oh, best lap of the session. No incidents recorded for Thomas. We'll see what this next lap time comes in. It's going to be a slow one, but yeah, 2.6 seconds. Certainly is the gap there. Vining still behind Van der Steeg. Oh, and it's a good look up the inside. This is going to be a straight race down into the Fogarty chicane, because it's definitely not an S, and that is a lot of slipstream for the BMW. Not going to be close enough to get past the Ferrari into the chicane, but maybe down the hill. I always hold my breath going through there. And in fact, are the tyres still standing? I could have sworn I saw the tyre still standing. Oh, he's trying for it around the outside. All he's done is opened up the door though, and Van der Hoek is going to say thank you very much. I'm going to take an overtake here, surely. The two ahead, absolutely side by side. It's the Fast and the Furious car of Gibson that is holding on to the position. He's going for the inside line. Van der Hoek's going to try and follow him through if he can. Horman coming under all kinds of pressure. He's in a Fast and the Furious sandwich at the minute. Oh, he's having another look up the inside, but beautiful driving once again by Gibson. And some of the positions on the defender, I mean, some of the overtakes we see, Sean, absolutely mind-blowing. But we've just seen Van der Steeg put the Mercedes exactly where he needs to. And at the minute, Gibson, he's got that Mustang saddled up, and he is riding that thing beautifully through this course at the minute. And Horman just cannot find a way past, because Gibson, he's getting to the corner first. He is positioning that car where he needs to put it, and that is completely nullifying the threat that Horman's posing at the minute. Yeah,
he's, Gibson's certainly wise enough to Horman's advances, because Horman trying the switcheroo a couple of times, but you know, with this being quite a narrow circuit, Gibson is perfectly planting the car in a position where it's very, very difficult for Horman to make an overtake As you see, he's all over the rear bumper of Gibson right now, but he just cannot find a break. Just as he looks to go up the inside, he went to show a nose up the inside to make Gibson think a little bit, but Gibson again wise to it. And as we come across the start-finish line now, he's got it all to do here. I don't think he's going to make the move here. All that Horman can do is really try to apply that pressure to Gibson and hope he can force a mistake out of Gibson.
Yep, exactly the strategy he's going to have to employ. He's going to struggle to outdrive Gibson at the based on the current offering from the two of them. Gibson will be keenly aware as well. He's got his teammate directly behind Horman, so if these two could communicate well, they could end up getting Van der Hoek past Horman before Horman gets a chance to get past Gibson. Damien Konzig, no one's getting past him at the minute. 2.4 seconds ahead of Thomas, who's 4.2 seconds up on wet. Oh, that's a big mistake by Horman, Sean. And that is Fast and the Furious have now extricated Senor Horman from the sandwich they had, and the mistake that Horman was trying to force out with Gibson, he's pushed too hard himself, had a wiggle, Van der Hoek ahead, and he's only now got Declan Brogan chasing him down in the Lamborghini as a costly mistake.
Yeah, indeed it was. Yeah, just trying to... I think he took a little bit too much curb on Coppice at turn 8 there, and yeah, he got very squirrely. He did really well to actually save the car, but unfortunately overheated the tyres somewhat and lost well, he lost one position, but certainly lost the fight to challenge Gibson, who is currently P8 of course, and yeah, he's got Brogan for company now. But we are on board with Goldie, who is currently P2 for the silver category. Now it is important for Goldie to try to propel himself up as high up as possible, because he does have that 20-second success penalty to his name, so he will be losing a fair chunk of time and perhaps a fair few positions as well, so he will want to get past Popeye as quickly as possible. But again, no easy feat, because there is a car or a couple of cars actually in front of Popeye, and Popeye, being a pro driver as well, is no slouch, that is for certain. So Goldie definitely got his work cut out, but it's certainly looking rather tasty, John.
It really is. 12 laps in, the tyres have finally gone at the chicane, and there's an advertising hoarding stuck to one of the cars. The Honda, the Shrek X Honda, has an advertising hoarding stuck to the side of it. Do not adjust your sets, that is not a graphical glitch. He has hit the side and he is dragging, unfortunately, one of the advertising hoardings with him. He took an early pit stop, and there we can see it there. I wonder how much that's affecting his top speed. I would drive into the wall and get rid of that. I mean, that's one way to advertise McLaren. Let's stick an advertising board on the side of a Honda. It's the way to do it. It's the way to do it. Callum Scotland's going to be closing up on the back of this as well. He's about to go past a aforementioned Honda. It's Alex Perry, of course. 32nd overall. He's taking his mandatory pit stop though. I wonder if you can actually see that on his own screen. I mean, it's right inside the car. Can we see that from inside the car as well? Yes, we can.
Well, that's one way of making your car as wide as possible, right, John?
It really is. That's a phenomenal strategy for that one. Absolutely is. In fact, if he grabs one on the other side and starts flying, we might need to get the stewards to make sure. I'm sure all four wheels do have to be firmly on the tarmac for the vast majority of the race. They've got on two wheels. Oh, that's surely going to be causing them problems aerodynamically. If that's written into the physics of the game, it absolutely should be affecting them. Yeah, I would drive into the pit wall to get rid of that. But yeah, the Honda carrying a bit of extra weight. We've still got 36 cars in the race. Matt Martin's in the pits. We've got Rick Kranz, Omar Ashraf and Benjamin Odin Vedvik In fact, that's Vedvik on his way out. Tice Payne back out in 25th position after taking an early pit stop. Danny McCutcheon comes back out inside the top 5 in the silvers. He'll certainly be looking to make a bit of a comeback charge, given he started the silver category in 2nd place. He's got Daniel Zlatnik just ahead of him. He has just unlapped himself against Zlatnik. Zlatnik absolutely slamming on the brakes to make sure the silver driver got past. He's got that incredible Team Snail livery on again. Absolutely love that thing. It does look so good with the exhaust pipe and the snail, and yeah, very, very good, very good. It is a Flint design. Flint who's racing and in the chat. Yeah, again, kudos for the livery work. I thought that was a bot in chat, but it is not. It is Mark AMR97. Good evening and welcome in. How are you? If you are a sim racing fan, you're in for an absolute treat. There we go, Mr. Belden in the chat. It's exactly what I was just saying. If the Honda gets another ad on the driver's side, it will literally start flying. And I'm here for it. I'm going to be honest. I am absolutely here for it. Tom Wegman comes into the pits from 3rd place with 23 minutes into the race, Sean. That throws our thoughts of what's in the track temperature right out the window and reinstates my initial statement, which was we could see a wide variety of pit stops. Wegman in after only 23 minutes.
Yeah, big surprise there actually. But again, well, I don't know, John. I don't know, to be honest. My theory was that they would raise the PSIs to accommodate for the cooling track temperature, but track evolvement, should I say. But yeah. Anyways, John, what is this replay I'm looking at?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, this is a replay. This is Vining getting the overtake done on Van der Steeg. I hope we get to see it. I think Van der Steeg has made a bit of a mistake through Hollywood and into Starcase through the old hairpin. Let's have a look. Is it on the exit? Ooh. Oh, he was taking avoiding action. The Honda was on the grass, so he took avoiding action, and Vining said thank you very much indeed. That is some situational awareness put to phenomenally good use. As Van der Hoek comes into the pits. And I don't know why I sound surprised. These drivers know what they are doing. I clearly do not, but that is Van der Hoek coming into the pits as well with a 12-degree track temperature. And no sign, although the cloud is clear, it's now got full sun, but it is 7:30 PM local time, and that's not the warmest time of day in Britain, I can absolutely assure you. So the track temperature is going to tumble. Papai is coming in the pits now. That for me, Sean, not a huge surprise. He was caught up in that battle. He's looking for a bit of track position there as Vining just blue flags past Runic Khan. But yes, certainly Papai there. That could be a much better decision to pit when he has, because he was caught up in that battle a bit. This might give him a bit better track position.
Yes, indeed. And to be honest, I know by looking at previous results in this championship, he's not had the best championships, and he really wants to really put an end to the disappointing campaign that he's had, and that could be a good move for him, because if he does manage to find a little bit of track space, he can then just concentrate on his race and almost think of it as a time trial and just churn out the laps and seeing how high he can finish come the end of the race job.
Yeah, and he's come back into the pits. He's ahead of Tice Payne, behind Van der Hoek, and unsurprisingly behind Tom Wegman as well. Wegman, the lead driver, out of the pits. Not a massive surprise again. 21st position overall. Wegman finds himself in after coming out of the pits. He has got Danny McCutcheon just ahead of him. Callum Scotland. Very nice move on Goldie there. I don't imagine Goldie put up too much of a fight. He is running his own race in the silvers. He's now got no one. Well, sorry, he's got Callum Scotland separating him from De La Zeus, but that is only because of blue flags. So we'll see if he gets on. Oh, as the QRT Aston comes sailing through there as well, the Fast and the Furious Ferrari. Damien Konzig has not batted an eyelid at Wegman coming into the pits. He's coming up to a solid bulk of traffic, solid chunk of traffic as well. So yeah, interesting decision. Is it to stay out? I think staying out is the way forward in this, given that track temperature, as we see more cars coming into the pits. So maybe they couldn't, maybe the tyres just aren't in the window, so they are needing to come in just to get them pumped back up again. 33 minutes still to go. That's Jongen and Horman both coming into the pits, so we'll see where they come back out. Thomas separated by 3.7 seconds from the race leader, who does have that 20-second penalty to serve. So just based purely on that penalty, Konzig currently running 5th overall. In fact, might be 6th because Tysers and Van der Steeg right on top of one another. Horman and Jongen still in the pits as Thomas tries to close in on Damien Konzig, but it is an attempt in vain as the gap now increasing to 4.1 seconds. Absolutely moving at the minute. There is the Honda advertising board free. Alex Perry continuing on. Mark Martins is still in the pits. That looks like that might be a retirement for the BMW driver. Oh, and that Honda not looking clever on the tyres at the minute either. Tice Payne has looked to make a move on Christophe Papai. Hasn't quite got close enough to get it done. But yeah, any thoughts that... Oh, drive-through for track limits, that's the Honda. Any thoughts that Papai might have had, Sean, of getting himself a bit of free track? That is a parade that is being rained on at the minute by Tice Payne. Wouldn't be surprised to see these two battling for podium, top 5 honours. They're currently outside the top 10 in the pros, and I don't think it's going to do either of them any good having this battle. Certainly from a viewer's perspective, I'm here for it, but the drivers, I don't think this was in their strategy.
No, and this is the problem with a circuit like Donington being quite a short lap and not many kind of like overtaking opportunities really, apart from where we are now, going down straight to the chicane, and it really just kind of queues up the cars really, and unfortunately for Papai, where he really needs to get a move on, and with Tice Payne as well, isn't it? With traffic in front, yeah, this is certainly going to be a stage in the race where I feel like they're going to be losing way too much time. But it does look like Tice Payne is looking to try and get past Papai. Papai does look like he is, as alluded to, stuck in a queue where he was all over the back marker of, sorry, all over the back bumper of, I think it was Zlatnik, I think.
It is, yes.
And it looks like Zlatnik is going to give way. And oh my God, that was very, very close from Tice Payne there, and really needed to trust the driving of Zlatnik there, but safely through. But a little bit of a scary moment, I have to say, though, John.
Yeah, just a little bit. Code Brown. Oh! That is a huge contact there. We've seen one car go off track. Is it? Oh no, Delazus is into the pits. That was a big contact there. And that is Omar Ashraf, unfortunately, caught up in that one. He was doing his best to get out of the way. As you can see, he gets himself well out of the way through here, but it's too much, and it's put him on the grass, and that is 8 ball in the corner pocket. Pool hall magic being pulled off there. Wrong place, wrong time. Or is that just Donington summed up in one incident, Sean? I think I know which one.
Yeah, so you could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to get out of the way, but to be honest, they always say, like, you know, under blue flags, you know, move off the racing line when it's safe to do so, but you certainly don't expect him to do it on a corner, and once he dipped a wheel on the grass, he was a passenger from that moment onwards, John.
Yeah, indeed, and he was given a one-way ticket to the extremities of the course. Tom Wegman has caught up to Jerome Jongen, so despite the success ballast for Wegman, he is right back in the hunt. Goldie comes into the pits from the Silvers. We've got Declan Brogan now up into third place overall. Disqualified for track limits.
Wow.
Alex Perry has picked up a track limit penalty while he had a drive-through for track limits. That is... yeah, that shows you how bad it's been for the Honda driver with that advertising board attached to the car. Normally that would get lifted. I'm wondering... oh no, because Tice is on track. Yes, so that is the end to the Honda drivers' race. It's definitely going to be one to forget, or certainly if it's going to be one to remember, it's going to be for the wrong reasons. The reason mostly being he was doing a lot of McLaren advertising while driving a Honda. We've got Tom Wegman, who is jumping about the field on my telemetry at the moment with everyone taking pits. Goldie comes back out of the pits. Chris Bell is now the lead silver driver. He's going for a longer first stint than the vast majority of the silver drivers. He's up to 5th place overall. Hazio Horman in 11th place with Tom Wegman. And Jerome Jongen. Look how close these two are. Wegman absolutely on a charge at the minute. Callum Scotland and Chris Vining both come into the pits as Matcham in the arms picks up a stop go 32nd for speeding in the pit lane, and Tom Wegman is going to pick himself up a Mustang scalp as they head through the S's and down. Oh, now is he going to get the cut back here, or is the Mustang going to be perfectly positioned? I think we know the answer to that. Perfectly positioned from Jongen, fending off Wegman. A great battle between these two, and at the Goddards it's going to be all about the defensive display, and Wegman had time to serve in the pit stop. Vining is just exiting the pits. Callum Scotland is still in there. Where is Chris Vining? Oh, he's just ahead, so much later on the brakes for the Ferrari driver. Wegman looking for every single millimetre of track that he can find, but the Mustang on those corner exits is absolutely shifting. And our race leader Sean comes in to the pits. Damien Konzig 34 minutes in with that extra 20-second penalty. It's going to put him right back into the mix. It's going to put Michael Thomas in the lead of the race, and Van der Steeg chasing down a win in the pros.
Yeah, indeed, yeah, that was a very important time there for Van der Steeg. I was keeping my BDI on the leaderboards there, and yeah, if we're talking about the pros, provisionally right now, he'll have the race lead. Of course, in fact, Brogan is the last driver of the pros to stay out. So provisionally, yes, Van der Steeg has the race lead and 2.5 second lead over Ticehurst. So we'll see where Konzik comes back out. I do suspect he's going to be behind.
Oh, he's not. He's ahead of Van der Steeg.
Wow. How's that happened?
Because he is an absolute alien behind the wheel of that car. He built up he literally built up a 20.9 second gap.
Wow.
Between himself and Van der Steeg.
I have no words, John.
No words at all. Two drivers shared the fastest lap last week, and a driver with a 20-second penalty carves himself out at less than under 21 second gap. Over 20 seconds, but under 21 seconds to the driver behind, comes into the pits, gets himself back out, and he's got the on track, he's got the race lead in the pros. He is Damien Konzig, and you and I, Sean, we should never ever doubt this driver's ability to win in the pros. He wrapped up season 3 in 4 races, and he may well have wrapped up Donington just with that opening 36-minute stint. Incredible driving.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give out my apologies to Damien Konzik there, because for the life of me, I thought, okay, Van der Steeg is definitely going to take the lead of this race, but Konzik always showing us that the impossible is possible, and yeah, he's currently P3, fastest lap of this race. He will be in P2, but overall that is, but P1 for the pros. But yeah, I'm absolutely mesmerised, John, by the sheer pace of such a man.
Indeed, the pace, the consistency, the strategy, the race IQ, it's disgusting. Far too much talent for one person to have, but Konzik is the driver that has it, and he's going to be chasing down Michael Thomas. He had a 4-second gap over Thomas before they came into the pits, and if I push this button here, I will be able to get a live gap for myself. There are plans in progress to enhance the broadcast for QRT viewers, to give you a much better understanding of what's going on in the race. That's something that Harry and I are working on in the background. So it's not only the championships and the drivers and the grids that evolve, it's the broadcast as well. So yes, some very nice additions coming to this series very, very, very soon indeed. But at the minute, 13.8 seconds is the gap that Konzig's got. So 3 times the gap before they came into the pits. But again, Sean, it just alludes to how quick Konzig is. He was 4 seconds ahead of Thomas when they came into the pits. He's only 13 seconds behind. So if he does, that's 17 seconds. He's saved 3 seconds in the pit stop. Somehow, that's how quick he managed to get his laps in. Thomas just invalidating his lap after making contact with the Ferrari. But again, Konzig, with 22 minutes to go, despite Thomas's pace, we cannot at this point rule Konzig out for an overall win. You just can't bet against him.
Yeah, you could be right there, John. I mean, we've got 22 minutes left of this race, and by that calculation, he just needs to, I'd say, be half a second quicker a lap, which is not out of the realms of possibility, to be honest. So we'll see how he gets on. He is the fastest man on the track. Let's get this right. So anything is possible for Konzik, and we do know that he is Mr. Consistent. We know that he's a lightning fast driver, and you know, he is the #1 driver for the pros for a very, very good reason, John.
Indeed he is, yeah, and #1 driver in the Silvers, Arnaud Delazeus, he is there for a very, very good reason as well, despite his success ballast penalty in the pits. He is back out in the lead of the Silvers. Bell and Sullivan, again, inseparable on the track. They're currently both on the podium. It's phenomenal to see these drivers, Bell and Sullivan. They're so close race after race. It's just this little micro war that's going, micro battles that are going on to see who'll win the war. But they're both winning at the minute on the podium. Horman and Thierry, of course, are wild cards. Now, I believe, is Wraith a wild card as well?
I can check for you, John. Wraith is an amateur driver.
So he is leading the way. The Sex Pistols machine is leading the way. Basteri and Bozo behind Borwick. Last week's winner Khan down in 6th position for the ARMS at the minute. Daniel Zlatnik serving a quali ban after last week, and now finds himself in 4th place. So a good drive there, starting from the back of the field, avoided all the early incidents and finds himself with the potential 4th place on the cars. Danny McCutcheon, who did suffer at the start of the race, has found himself back up to 5th position in the silver. So a decent comeback drive for the Porsche driver. Another driver, Flint there, almost getting the move done on Wilson. Wilson sneaks back ahead. Borwick closing in as well in the Audi. The Audi doing well at the start of the race. Again, another car managing to avoid a whole lot of incidents on the first lap. And he is now right on the back of Tice Payne, who is a lap up on him. But there is, Silver fellow Arms not too far ahead. Just want to check in the gap up at the front. Thomas, yeah, the gap is sitting at about 12 seconds, so Konzig really does need to find the same amount of time per lap. He's actually just gone half a 6/10 quicker on that previous lap to Thomas. Thomas crosses the line. Oh, now he's fighting right back with a 25.8. And yeah, Konzig is going to need to start setting lap records. Oh, we've got an O from Sean.
I did indeed. I'm trying to look at the number, but the BMW in the background looked like he went miles wide out of Goddard there. I just wondered whether or not he was giving way to the driver in front, or he just made a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, it could definitely be either here at Donington, that's for sure. We've got the Fast and the Furious cars battling again, but Jerome Jongen is once again ahead of them. Oh no, sorry, he is ahead of them. It was Horman that was sandwiched, and Jongen just ahead. He's now still just ahead, but it is just ahead. Gibson and Van der Hoek both following closely. And yeah, that is a three-driver train that's about to come forward, because Callum Scotland is closing in as well. And Declan Brogan not too far behind either. It's going to be a grandstand finish for this little group of cars. All four of them are going to need to be absolutely on point if we're going to at least maintain, if not improve, on their position overall. And in the pros, they've got two arms ahead of them, so this is a battle inside the top 10 of the Pro Championship. One more round of the championship to go. But never fear, Season 5 will be back. I may or may not have had a look at the calendar and can neither confirm nor deny it is absolutely phenomenal once again. Was that too subtle? I think it might have been. But yeah, Jerome Jongen at the minute, 8th place. Want us to drive through for track limits further down the field. I mean, it is a bit far ahead now, Sean. We've still got the last round to go, but another thing that QRT does phenomenally well is get drivers up through the ranks. We've seen Scott Ticehurst rise through the ranks from AMS Silvers to Pros to winning races. We've seen Callum Scotland do the same. I mean, you look at the field that we've got with De La Zeus, more than likely to be heading up into the Pros given his championship run, and even in the AMS, Basteri, Bozo and Ranit Khan heading up to the Silvers. The strength of competition just keeps improving as we see an overtake. Sean, talk us through it.
Yes, so it does look like
Gibson.
Oh, Gibson. Yeah, Gibson. Sorry, was getting muddled up there. There is a bit of a nose-to-tail battle between Jongen and Gibson. Gibson. No, I'm getting confused. 101 is Gibson, 79 is Jongen, and yeah, Gibson just sticking a nose in front of Jongen as we went through the chicane. But of course, with the hairpin coming up now, Jongen all over the back, nearly touching. They are touching. There's a spin from Jongen as well, and well, I didn't want to call it, but yeah, he got on the brakes very late into the back of Gibson and spun round, and he's lost a couple of positions there, John.
He really has, through the chicane and down the hill. Oh, and he's almost lost the back of the car there. Absolutely pushing. The drivers behind him have done really well to avoid that. Declan Brogan is going to be all kinds of grateful, but the two Mustangs there, one much quicker than the other on Jongen, just taking a connection there. Concertina effect that Aston Martin hit the back of him as he hit the back of the Mustang in front, and that has changed the running order drastically. And we now see Declan Brogan well inside the top 10 of the Pro. Jongen now behind De La Zeus in the silver. Donington doing Donington things to the drivers. Up at the front though, Michael Thomas very much doing Michael Thomas things. He is absolutely matching Konzig lap for lap, the two of them going through traffic, and I do mean matching lap for lap. Thomas and Konzig's previous laps, both of them 1 minute 26.0.
Absolutely crazy. Does look like we've got a battle on in front, John.
It does, yeah. More Fast and the Furious action. Declan Brogan looking very quick in that Lamborghini, and it is now, is that Hadjo Horman? No, it's not. He is just ahead. Oh, it's Callum Scotland, sorry. Wow, so Scotland has got himself ahead of Gibson and Van der Hoek.
Yeah, I couldn't work out who it was then, but yeah, you're right. It was Callum Scotland. I do believe he went up the inside on, was it Melbourne hairpin, was it? I think this is
hopefully we get to see here. Oh yeah, the Mustang looking for a defensive move. I'll tell you, Callum Scotland not being deterred. The Mustang trying to open up into the chicane. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is an overtake right there through the chicane. Absolutely set him up, Sean. There was nothing else the Mustang can do. You had to take the defensive line. He can't make another defensive move. Callum Scotland setting that one up and absolutely spiking the ball volleyball style to get himself up ahead of both the Fast and the Furious cars, who now have Declan Brogan absolutely breathing down their neck. So Scotland getting that overtake done at the right time. Van der Steeg.
Oh no! Oh wow! Van der Steeg gets a drive-through penalty for cutting track limits. He's in the pit lane now. He was P3. He's going to be
He was
sinking.
P2.
Oh, was he P2?
Sorry, P3 overall. He was P2 in the pros.
Right, okay. Well, he is just come out of the pits now. He has...
7th overall.
Oh, God.
Wow.
P6 for the pros, and... what can you say, John? What can you say with that? He was nailed on for his best finish of the season, and it sums up his season, I think, John. It
does indeed, yeah. It sums up Donington as well. So easy to pick up track limit penalties, and I think the biggest problem that he's got with this whole situation is we're on board with Callum Scotland. That is the back of Van der Steeg's car, you can see in the distance. So yeah, Van der Steeg has opened himself up to another entire world of problems. We were just talking about him a moment ago. He's hardly had a mention throughout the race. He's got one of the best liveries out there, of course, the F1 Rothmans homage. But Scott Ticehurst, second place in the pros, and I don't know what's more surprising, the fact that he's up there, or the fact that I'm actually surprised. It's Scott Ticehurst. He gets it done. Just a glowing example, Sean, of what can be achieved if you are consistent in a race. Consistency is the key. Corner exits and consistency. If you can consistently lap within 5% of your quality time, you're going to get great results. And he might be getting chased down by Tom Wegman at the minute, but with 10 minutes to go, Ticehurst has got to be extremely happy with the way the race has panned out for him so far.
Yeah, I agree with that, John. Yeah, consistency is always the key. You don't always have to be the fastest hot lapper, as long as you are consistent, as I think Wegman just went a little bit sideways out of Coppice there. That's what it looked like. But yeah, he has certainly got a very fast Wegman and Vining for company. It could get quite tasty in the final embers of this race, but Ticehurst, as we alluded to, Ticehurst just very consistent, keeps to within a second of each lap. It will breed great results, and certainly for him, P2 is at the minute looking on the cards for him.
Yeah, definitely. As I say, he is being hunted down by Tom Wegman and Chris Vining behind with less than 10 minutes to go. Is looking good. Delazeus, Bell and Sullivan on the silver podium, with Wraith, Basteri and Bozo on the podium. Declan Brogan has been thrown a lifeline by an incident, and he is not a driver that likes to look a gift horse in the mouth. He's got two Fast and Furious cars ahead of him. We've seen these two with an incredible start to the race, defending, overtaking. They've now got Declan Brogan hunting them down. Callum Scotland just ahead. Can confirm the gap between Van der Steeg and Scotland has increased by just over half a second since Van der Steeg came out of the pits. All the gravel through the old hairpin once again. Chris Bell right on the back of Thierry as well, the wildcard driver, usually found inside the top 10. The Lexus really not doing well at Donington. He's got Chris Bell behind him, and in fact there's Kolesnikov, who's on another comeback drive as well. He's just got himself ahead of Sullivan, so he's put himself between Bell and Sullivan on the silver podium. So there's going to be more action there. You can see just how big that Lamborghini gets through the braking zone. And then of course the Ferrari puts the foot down, the Lambo hits the dirty air and can't get close enough for the overtake with Van der Hoek. Oh, I tell you what, Van der Hoek maybe a bit late on the brakes, almost climbs into the back of his teammate's car, and Declan Brogan happy to almost climb into the back of Gibson's car. This is going to be close. On the back of, sorry, oh yeah, Gibson's got through. Van der Hoek is now behind Gibson, so these two have swapped places.
Yeah, they have indeed.
Yeah, Gibson leading this gap, and that is yeah, a good tactical switch potentially by the two. If Gibson's going that little bit quicker, get him out ahead, and yes, definitely secure, because Declan Brogan at any point he could get that overtake and really make it difficult for Fast and Furious to bring home those two top 10 positions they're currently holding.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, John. Yeah, I mean, so Gibson is probably in a good position here, because the Mustang, as we know, very strong in a straight line. Of course, perhaps lacks that downforce in the corners, but if you can stay in front, then it's got the power down the straights, and then, of course, Van der Hoek will be able to use that slipstream from the Mustang in front and hope that he can stay in front of the Lamborghini driver, that is Brogan. But Brogan definitely not making it easy for him, and we are talking a matter of tenths between them. So not only is Van der Hoek looking to size an opportunity up on Gibson, but he's going to be looking firmly in these mirrors, and he will have to take a defensive line, hoping that Gibson will stay behind him. But I think Gibson has got other ideas, John.
Yep, I think Gibson absolutely does. He's got his teammate flashing his lights. Let me pass, please. Mark AMR saying the setup wasn't quite working with the damage for the 339 BMW. And he's also saying let's go Van der Hoek and Gibson. Captain Mangle sending commiserations, I believe that would have been to Tice Payne picking up the Jerome Jongen picking up the drive-through based on the time of that message. But yeah, welcome everyone in. It is, as Sean has said, it's the closing embers of the race. It doesn't mean there isn't overtakes on the horizon. Jerome Jongen getting himself ahead of silver leader Arnaud Delazeus. Chris Bell still hanging on to the back of the Lexus, but he does have Kolesnikov separating him from Sullivan. Goldie's done well as well, despite that success penalty from his championship standing. He is back up into 4th position in the AMS, and we've got Wilson and McCutcheon battling for points in the silvers, down in 28th place overall. Borwick, the Audi drivers, we jump on board, heading up the hill, and that is Wilson and McCutcheon in the silvers just behind them, battling for their positions. Delazeus still all over the back of Jongen. Up at the front of the field, the gap is staying pretty much the same. Michael Thomas Oh, now it's saying that there was 7/10 of a difference between their lap times there. Gap only down to 11 seconds though, so he's only found 2 seconds. Only. Only. He's only found 2 seconds against one of the fastest drivers out there since he's come out of the pits. But yeah, Konzig, I'm sure, will be pretty happy with the drive this evening. He's going to be bringing home fastest lap points. I can't see anyone going quicker now that we are down to 11 degrees. The tyres are certainly going to be feeling the pace. And I tell you, Van der Hoek's going to be feeling the pace. He's moved over to break off that slipstream. Brogan has decided just to keep going in a straight line. Although the Ferrari driver might have been trying to warm the tyres a bit. It does say we've got 3 sun symbols up there. But I can assure you, there's not much of that out there at the moment. 2 laps to go. What excitement is going to happen, says Captain Mangold. Your guess is as good as ours. This is QRT. Phenomenal organisation and incredible drivers out on track, and everything, nothing is decided until the last lap. I was going to say everything decided when the checkered flag waves, but nothing's decided until that last lap, and this three-way battle here is a prime example of that. Prime example of getting the job done though, Sean. We've hardly seen him so far, but Michael Thomas starting in 2nd place. We know Konzig had that 20-second penalty, so it would have been a different story, but as you say in football, you can only beat what's in front of you, and at the moment there's nothing in front of Michael Thomas. It's been another flawless drive from the wildcard entry.
Yes, indeed, and he's chasing his 3rd victory in a row as well, which is something you can't really say too often in QRT unless you are Konzig.
Yeah. Yeah, Konzig is scary. Absolutely scary. Yeah. It'd be good if Thomas actually joins full time next season, so we can see all the drivers playing from a completely level playing field as far as the success penalties goes. But again, you can't take anything away from Thomas. He's going to bring home an overall race win because he has gotten himself to the checkered flag quicker than anyone else. Kolesnikov, after a troubling start to the race for the pro driver. He's still down 7 places overall. He's just picked up a drive-through for track limits in the absolute closing stages. We should really have a moon symbol up there now where the picture of the sun is, because that's the headlights on. Oh, and he's done a spin. Zlatnik almost getting caught out there. Van der Hoek is still very close to Gibson, and so is Declan Brogan. He'll still be eyeing up an opportunity if he can. We've got 2 cars retiring to the pits, unfortunately. Ashraf and Martin's, a lot of damage on those 2 cars early doors. Kolesnikov is going to tumble down the order. It's still very close. Papai goes past him as well. Goldie's got through, and Damien Konzig is moving very quickly. Moving very quickly. He has lost a bit of time though, working his way through the traffic. Lost 1.3 seconds to Thomas there. Oh, he's almost lost the edge of the car. Please don't pick up a drive-through on the closing couple of laps. That would be an absolute heartbreaker, but definitely an ever-looming threat here at Donington. But less than a minute to go, Sean. We've got Declan Brogan, this 3-way battle going on as Michael Thomas looks to bring home the race win. Do you think we're going to see an overtake on the last lap? Is Brogan going to go for it? Is Van der Hoek going to try and gazump his teammate in the closing stages?
It's now or never, isn't it, John? I think I certainly think with the fact that Van der Hoek has been behind Gibson's bumper for a fair amount of laps now, with Brogan as well, although he has lost a little bit of the gap to himself and Van der Hoek, but he's praying that the 2 drivers in Gibson and Van der Hoek do battle it out and lose some time. But we'll see how we go as Konzig looks like he's about to come across the checkered. Oh no, this is to start the final lap here, John. Sorry, and that's Thomas out in front.
It is indeed, yeah. Any sponsorship for our team? Oh, you're looking for team sponsors? Well, there you go, Fast and the Furious, looking for team sponsors in the chat, give them a shout. Quick drivers, solid teamwork. Declan Brogan certainly looking to gazump them at the moment. But yeah, Michael Thomas, it's been an incredible race from start to finish, started in second place. And Damien Konzig as well. He is going to get the win in the pros, and I'll tell you, he'll be grateful as well because he's managed to get some pretty consistent laps in, and there is consistency points in this championship. These drivers have got one more lap to go. Oh, that gap is ping-ponged back the way of Brogan. Van der Hoek going to be coming under pressure as Michael Thomas comes through the Fogarty chicane, because it's definitely not an S. Down into Melbourne and Goddard. You think I would have peed my bonnet about that. What he does there's Rannick Khan in the arms. He's just going to pop himself.
Oh! Oh, that was so close. That his heart must have been in his mouth for Thomas, but talk us through the final corner here, John.
Indeed, yeah, full code brown clean up on aisle 3, but Michael Thomas does take the checkered flag for a third race win in a row. A phenomenal drive in the Aston Martin. Phenomenal drive as well. Damien Konzig, despite the 20-second success penalty, he has won in the pros and has taken the fastest lap of the race. His car still battle around him. He's trying to get himself off track, quite a few of them taking the checkered flag, but Scott Ticehurst on the podium once again. The Lamborghini driver deservedly flashing those lights, and more light flashing coming from Tom Wegman on the podium in the pros again, despite that success. Ballast Chris Vining bringing home 4th place, and of course in the silvers Arnaud Delazeus. What a drive he has had, just coming into the final corner now. In fact he's on the lead lap as well. He is on the lead lap, of course. 13th overall, Arnaud Delazeus, increasing his championship chances with a win. Chris Bell on the podium, some victory flashing in the lights there as well. And Ben Sullivan crosses the line to take 3rd place. We already had Wraith cross the line to win in the AMS. And if I'm quick enough, we can grab that. There we go. It makes the screen go all weird, and we'll grab that. But that does at least give me a quick bit of results to look at, Sean. Again, QRT never fails to deliver, and Damien Konzig bringing home a very, very, very good win in the pros.
Yeah, 100%, John. Yeah, luckily I did write down the results as well, John, so you had me as backup.
Indeed. Yeah, that's why we keep bringing you back. You are a legend.
But yeah, congratulations to Konzik for his 3rd victory in this championship. Yeah, Ticehurst with an amazing 2nd step on the podium, which his best result before that was P6. So to get a P2, fantastic achievement for Ticehurst. And then P3 went to Wegman for the 3rd time in a row, I do believe. And then just to let you know as well, in the silver category, yes, Delazeus grabbed his first... Oh, no, it's his first victory. His first victory in this championship. He had 2 second positions beforehand. So congratulations to Delazeus for the first win of the season. And then it was Bell who got P2. Sullivan got P3. I do believe that is his best position of this season as well. In fact, yes, Ben Sullivan 3rd was his best. Joint best then. Sorry, 2 P3s in a row for Sullivan. I do apologise there, John. And then for the
Sullivan.
Yeah, indeed. And then for the amateurs, yeah, it was Rafe that brought home the victory with Asteri in P2 and Bozo in P3. And for the wildcards, of course, Thomas overall grabbed the victory, and Horman got P2 and Thierry grabbed P3.
Yeah, worthy podium winner, worthy podium takers once again here at QRT GT3 Season 4. The only issue I've got is we've only got one round left to go, but what a round it is going to be. Kyalami, oh, the track that has it all. And yeah, it really does have it all. Tight twisty corners, nice long straights, and a curve that will send you into the pits. Whether you like it or not. Valencia, Spa, Watkins, Glen and Silverstone now joined by Donington. What an incredible race it has been. Of course, Thomas taking the overall win, Konzig winning in the Pros de la Zeus in the silvers, and Wraith in the arms. Good share again, and more race winners over the championship. We've got Brogan moved up to 10. Something must have happened. According to this, Brogan finished 10th overall, so I think someone left the server before the result, but he did finish ahead, still behind Van der Hoek and Gibson. And still ahead of Payne, yeah. Freelancer Tech Gibson, thanks for the airtime, guys. Thank you for the solid, absolutely solid racing. So yeah, don't need to thank us for the airtime. If you are performing on track, miracles and wonders, we will be watching. Absolutely. Flint P24 is lightning down. Yeah, P24 up to 30 from 36th. Incredible drive by Zlatning. Mike van der Hoek in the chat as well. Good evening. Great race, I would say. Great race, but nothing less than we expect here at QRT, Sean. And it's Kyalami next.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Kyalami, absolute fantastic circuit with lots of undulations, lots of technical corners, and with the championship looking very tight, I have to say, it's certainly going to bring us all the entertainment in the final round of this championship. I can't wait for that, John.
That was going to be absolutely incredible. There is the link in the chat for the host page on SimGrid. You can get the Discord link from there as well. You can sign up to all the races, get yourself into Discord, and you can jump onto the YouTube page. You can subscribe for free to help support the sim racing endeavours of QRT. Help them build that page. All the races now back catalogued on there. You do not want to miss any of them. Trust me, it's worth going back to watch as many as possible. Yeah, so make sure you jump on board there. Of course, the VOD will be available on here as well. Sean and I will be back. Did someone say Kyalami? For the final round. The championships still very much in the balance. The consistency points proving to be yeah, a bit of a game changer and could be a match decider as well. So make sure you get tuned in for that. As I say, it will be Sean and myself that bring you all the action from there next week. So make sure you get tuned in for that. We will leave you tonight with the highlights though. And yeah, quick closing thought and a good night from Sean.
Yeah, well, 100% that Donington definitely brings the best racing, I have to say, John. And it was full of twists and turns, I would say. And yeah, it's really set us up for the final race of the championship. So another amazing race on behalf of QRT. They never fail to impress, that is for sure. But yeah, it's a good night from me though, guys, and thank you so much for watching as always.
Indeed, yeah, an absolute pleasure having Sean in the commentary box, a legend at broadcasting. He does stream himself, Flawed Genius Gaming, so make sure you give him a follow and go over there and watch him race. He is just as quick as he is at the commentary, which is slightly annoying for someone who lacks talent such as myself. But we will be back next week, and what a week it is going to be. All three championships will be decided over 1 hour on the tarmac in South Africa. We will see you all then. Until then, though, it is a good night from Sean.
Good night, everyone.
And it's a good night from me. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.